tough year for me. I've had some issues, and as we all know, the issues that happen with kidney disease, you never have a moment to say, everything's fine. But I am happy to say that next month, I'll be 59 years old. And looking back, having this illness since age 2, 57 years, I can't believe it, because I know what statistics are. I know what people tell you. But you know what? What I've learned is statistics don't apply to me. And I want you to think about that. They don't apply to me. And they don't apply to you. So I was asked, how do I cope with this illness? Because I have some pretty severe arthritis. And I've learned to just accept it and not fight it. And so one of the things, I used a scooter because I can go around and move as fast as my brain, but I don't hurt and I'm not tired at the end. So I really encourage, if you have some mobility issues, please use a cane. Don't wear those cute little heels, women, because one fall can set us so far back. We don't have a lot of room for error. So now when I go to, one of my coping skills is arts and crafts. And I've told this joke before, I'm a craft addict. That's craft with an FT, not crack with a CK, because people get confused sometimes when I get animated. But when I go to a art or craft fair, people are jealous of me because I can run around. I don't have to worry about getting knocked down. I can carry bags. I don't have to worry about certain things. And that's one of the things that has really helped me cope, is learning how to wait to worry. This is my slogan, wait to worry about things. And what can you do in the meantime when you're waiting to worry? Because Dr. Google will scare the crap out of you. And you know, sometimes we get some kind of test or something like that, and we immediately go to Dr. Google. Well, Dr. Google and the dialysis waiting room have something in common. They don't always tell the good stories. They tell the bad stories. And so one of the things that when I created RSN, and I've been working on a memoir, so I've really reflected back. But as many of you probably are aware or have experienced yourself, my family is a little dysfunctional. And it was very hard growing up having somebody who was sick. And so one of the things that was really challenging is they always didn't have expectations of me. They didn't think I would really make it. And I can tell you today, I'm the most successful person in my family. And it wasn't because they didn't care about me. They were dealing with their own dysfunction. So one of my other tips about coping is find people who want to move forward. Don't find people who want to stay stuck in the past. Because I have a saying, you know, if you have one foot in yesterday and another foot in tomorrow, you're pissing on today. And that is so true. And it's hard. I love the kidney jokes, I'm sorry. But it's really important that you stick with the winners. Stick with the people who are trying to be successful, trying to find solutions, not the ones saying, I'm not going to take my medicine, it doesn't matter. And if somebody says that, they're probably severely depressed, because this illness has an array of motions, and I'm sure you've went through them all. And I like to tell people what they are, because I didn't even know what they were till I was in my early 20s. And it was shock. That's the first one. You're not going to hear anything anybody says, shock. Shock. And that's why when you go to the doctor, you should bring somebody, because you can't retain anything when you're in shock. Shock denial is like, it's not that bad. And that's a coping mechanism. And then there's fear, and the opposite of fear is anger. And I have to tell you, once when I was told I was on PD for 10 years, and I was told I had to go back on hemo. And I'd always said I'd rather die than go back on hemo. You know, I loved PD. I'd had 2 transplants that didn't work, and I was just dreading hemo because I don't have the access sites. And I remember experiencing this anger that I didn't even know what it was. Has anybody ever felt that way? That intense anger where you feel like you're going to explode. And what I learned through that is that I have to occupy my mind. I have to take control of my mind, because if I don't, my body will fall apart. And some coping skills that I've learned is engage in the creative process. Did you know, and I read a study about this, Pinterest, all the different things, or if it's woodworking, if you think about making something, you actually get as much benefit as making it. So I always have arts and craft projects or something that's out on the table. I made half a necklace this morning when I was having coffee. That's how I control my mind. Because when you're doing repetitive stuff like puzzles or cooking and you're in the zone, it lets your body relax. Because I'm gonna do a pop quiz here. What makes us so scared and afraid? What is the reason? Not knowing. I can't hear either, so somebody tell. What?
The unknown.
The unknown. It really is, and it's the lack of control. We don't have control. There's certain things we can't control. And, you know, we just got to go through the process and try to live in the moment. The next thing I learned was you create the world you want. Don't try to live in a world that doesn't accept you. I was a short female growing up with Miss America runner-up. And that just wasn't my tribe. So I created my own tribe, and you're my tribe. You're people I feel comfortable around, that I can be myself. And you have to find that tribe, because you need that tribe to be able to just say, you know what, I had a really crappy day. And Carol, a lot of times, just says, I'm so sorry you have to go through that. That's what I need to hear. Not that it's gonna be okay, that you're gonna be, you know, just, you know, it's not that bad, you know. And I love it when healthcare professionals sometimes say, you know, the needle stick won't hurt. And I'm like, me or you, right? You know, and I think that it's really important because feelings are dynamic. And the fact that feelings come in different waves. You don't know when they're coming. I can be triggered by a song. There's a song by Wilson Phillips, Hold On to Another Day. I sang that song during my 3rd transplant when I was 24 years old. I had been on dialysis for 12 years, and I got a 3rd transplant. My first 2 didn't work, and the 3rd kidney was sleeping. It wasn't awake. And it was going on for about 3 weeks. And I was running out of accesses. So I felt a little bit out of control that the 3rd transplant wouldn't work. And all I could do was sing that song, Hold On for One More Day. So you gotta find these little pieces that help you get through them and draw yourself to it. The next thing, animals, pets. I love my dogs. And luckily, my husband, who's sitting back there, Mr. Dean Hartwell. Oh, we've been married for 28 years. He gives me an anniversary card every month since we've been married. I know men hate him too, let me tell you. They don't like that story. Every year for 28 years. And, I think looking back, growing up with Miss America runner-up, it's really useless to compare yourself to somebody else, because I did compare myself to her. And I always was the shorter of the comparison in my own committee. We all have those committee in our head that likes to talk to us, and they're not usually our friends. And so I know Krista, my friend who is Miss America runner-up, has been married and divorced 3 times. So I don't know everybody has their own struggles. They're just not as visible. And then I think most importantly, creating your community, your family, you have to be knowledgeable about this illness. I mean, knowledge is power. And the more you know, the better you can advocate for yourself. And recently I was in the hospital, and I have all my dear friends here. I have so many people: Carol, Brenda, Isela, Jill, Lana, Anne. I'm looking around the room, Lubna, all these people, Brenda, over here, you could give you a round of applause. They were there around the clock, there for me, because I couldn't speak for myself. And that's when you know you're truly loved, when people are there. And I'm very grateful, because it was a very scary time, and they didn't know exactly what was going on. But this is a little bit wild, but sometimes I think I'm a cockroach. They just can't get rid of me. I just seem to survive the most incredible situations. And then one of the doctors just said, "No, you're not a cockroach." We were having a discussion if I'm a cockroach. He goes, "No, you're not a cockroach, you're an outlier." And I'm like, I don't know. I just have so much ambition for this body. I have so many things I want to do. And life is short. Start now. I didn't start painting till I was 50 years old. Go out, invest in yourself, do what you love. And I'm going to close with this statement because I love it. It's from Confucius. It says, if you want to be happy for an hour, take a nap. If you want to be happy for a day, go fishing. In my case, go shopping. If you want to be happy for a week, take a vacation. If you want to be happy for a month, get married to the wrong person. If you want to be happy for a year, inherit a fortune. But if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, it's very simple. You help someone else. And that is the secret to happiness. So I thank you all for being here today, and I look forward to hearing all the speakers and seeing you all during lunch.